Hello students, I hope till now you have understood that what is a schedule. In this particular video lecture, we will be studying about the serializability and the two types of serializable schedule, that is conflict serializable and view serializable. So let's start with this. The concept of serializability of schedule is basically used to identify that which schedules are correct when their transactions are executed. When suppose I am having the interleaving of transactions, interleaving means suppose transaction T1 executes its two operations, then we move to transaction T2, transaction T2 executes its two operation, then we move back to transaction T1, then it executes its one operation. It's like we are switching between the two transactions because they are the two concurrent transactions. It is not the scenario like we have executed transaction T1 completely, then we will move to transaction T2 completely. It is like the operations of the two transactions are switched at certain intervals. This is known as interleaving of operations. So serializability we will use to check if the interleaving of operations is affecting the result of the execution of transactions or not. That is why we use the serializability. Then what is a serial schedule? A serial schedule, S is, we use the notation S to denote a schedule. A schedule S is serial if for every transaction T that is participating in the schedule, all the operations of T are executed consecutively in the schedule, otherwise the schedule is non-serial. A serial schedule basically means where there is no interleaving. Suppose if we are having two transactions in the system, first we will perform all the operations of one transaction, then we will go to the operations of second transaction. There is no interleaving. When there is no interleaving, then the schedule is known as a serial schedule where all the operations of each transaction are executed in a serial manner. If there is interleaving in the if there is interleaving in the operations of the transaction, then it will be a non-serial schedule. Now, the problem with serial schedule is that they limit the concurrency or interleaving of operations. The thing I have just told you. Now, what is serializable? A schedule S, suppose we are having n transactions, is serializable if it is equivalent to some serial schedule of same n transactions. Now, suppose I am having a schedule S where I am having two transactions T1 and T2. T1 is performing some operations, T2 is performing some operations in the interleaved manner. Again, we are switching between the two transactions. If using some method I can convert this schedule into a serial schedule so that all the operations of one transaction are executed first, then all the operations of other transactions are executed next, then it will be known as a serializable. Then that particular situation, that schedule is known as serializable. Right? If a non-serial schedule can be converted into a serial schedule, then it is known as serializable. So we have two types of serializable. Conflict serializable and view serializable. What is conflict serializable? The two instructions I and ij. Now instruction means those read and write that we were studying earlier, they are known as the instructions. The two instructions I and ij of transactions Ti and Tj. Suppose I am having two transactions T1 and T2. I am having two instructions. I1 instruction belongs to transaction T1. I2 instruction belongs to transaction T2. Now, if suppose I can swap these instructions in such a manner without affecting the result, then we have four different cases. When we can swap, we have four different cases. What these instructions can be? It can be the scenario that both the instructions are read instructions. T1 is also executing the read instruction, T2 is also executing the read instruction. The scenario can be that instruction II is read and instruction IJ is write. Third case can be instruction II is write and IJ is read. Fourth instruction can be, fourth scenario can be, fourth case where I and ij both are right. So these are the four different combinations that are possible for two operations read and write, right? So these are the four possible cases. Now when we will say that I and I belongs to transaction Ti, Ij belongs to transaction Tj, when we will say that I and Ij, the two different instructions from two different transactions, they are conflicting with each other. If they both belong to the different transaction. If they both belong to the same transaction, then there is no possibility of conflict, right? If the both instructions are from different transaction and on the same data item, definitely the conflict will occur only if there will be different data, same data item involved, right? If they are working on different data items, then there is no issue of conflict. I guess you can understand this. If I am fetching the record of student with enrollment number 1 and you are I am reading the record of student with roll number 1 and you are writing the record of student with roll number 2, then there is no issue because these are the two different items. The problem is when we both are working on the same data item, right? So the conflict will occur if both the instructions are from the different transactions, they are on the same data item, and at least one of the instruction is the write operation. Because if both the instructions are read instruction, even then there will be no conflict, because reading means just fetching the data, which will definitely not result into the conflict. Conflict occurs when at least one of the operation is the write operation. So this is the scenario. Now we will see that what is conflict equivalent and conflict serializable. These are the possible, these all three conditions should satisfy, only then we will say that two instructions are conflicting in nature. Now what is conflict equivalent and conflict serializable? If a schedule S can be transformed into another schedule S dash, we can convert one schedule S into another schedule S dash by a series of swaps of non-conflicting instructions, then S and S dash are said to be conflict equivalent. Suppose I am having the schedule S where I am having two transactions T1 and T2 with in the interleaved manner. If using some swaps means I am swapping the operations of the two transactions. If using some swaps, non-conflicting swaps, they should not conflict. If using some non-conflicting swaps, I can convert one schedule S into another schedule S dash, then the two schedules S and S dash will be known as conflict equivalent. And if the new schedule that we have created is a serial schedule, then the two schedules S and S dash will be known as conflict serializable. This is what the definition says, right? I'll explain you this with the help of an example. You will definitely understood this. Suppose this is a schedule S. I am having transaction T1, I am having transaction T2. T1, now you can see here the operations are performed in the interleaved fashion. We have executed two operations of T1, then we have switched to T2, then we have switched to T1, then T2, then T1, then T2. This is interleaved fashion, right? Now, if I can convert this schedule into another schedule such that I execute all the operations of T1 first and then all the operations of T2, then into a serial schedule, then we will get a new schedule S dash that will be conflict serializable with this particular schedule S. Now let's see, can we swap the operations? We will swap the operations only if they are non-conflicting. So let's start. To take this read B, to execute this read B by T1, before this read A, I move to this upward. I have to move this before read A. Can I do this? First of all, they are on different items. If they are on different items, definitely there is no problem. It means I can easily swap read B with read A. So read B can be moved in the upward direction and read A can be executed after read B. Second, the only operation that we are left with is write B. Write B with write A will again not conflict because they are on different data items. So we can execute write B before write A. Now checking write B with read A. Again, they will not result into any conflict because they are on different data items. It means I can easily swap these read B and write B in the upward direction, and I can execute these two operations, read B and write B, before read A and write A by T2. So after these three swaps, my resulting schedule will look like this. You can see this, right? Now this is basically a serial schedule because we have completed transaction T1 first, and then we have moved to transaction T2 after completing all the operations of T1. This is a serial schedule where there is no interleaving. Now you can see this, both the schedules, this schedule S and this schedule S dash, they both are equivalent, and the second schedule that I have just retrieved by swapping is a serial schedule. We will say S and S dash are conflict serializable, right? I hope you understood this. Now we have a very simple test using the graph theory to check if the schedule is conflict serializable or not. What we simply have to do is we need to construct a directed graph, which is also called a precedence graph. I hope you know that we denote a graph by V and E, where V is the set of vertices and E is the set of edges. It is a basic concept of the graph theory of mathematics. Now how we will start drawing what will be the vertices and what will be the edges? The number of vertices in the graph will depend on the number of transactions in your schedule. If I am having only 2 transactions in my schedule, then I will be having 2 vertices. In short, the transaction will become the vertices for my graph. Now, how I will draw the edges is, we have 3 conditions to draw the edges. If a transaction Ti is executing, again we are concerned for the same data item, right? If a transaction Ti is executing write Q before Tj executes read Q, it means a write operation is performed before a read operation, then we will draw an edge from Ti to Tj. Now the second case can be if Ti is executing read Q before Tj executes write Q. It means again read operation before write operation, then we will draw an edge from Ti to Tj. Third case can be both the transactions are executing the write operation, then the one who will execute it first, that we will start from the edge with. So again we will draw an edge Ti to Tj if Ti is executing write operation before Tj executes the write operation. So it is write before read, read before write, or write before write. If the scenario is so on the same data item, then we will draw an edge from Ti to Tj. Now let's take an example. Now starting with this, observe this very carefully. Read A, read before write. Do we have this? Yes. This read A and this read A, they don't conflict, we don't care. But this read and this write, T1 is executing read before T2 will execute write. So we will draw an edge from T1 to T2, right? Now next, this read A and this write A will conflict. T2 is executing a read before T1 will execute a write. So we will draw an edge from T2 to T1. Now this write and this write, again T2 is executing before T1, again the arrow will be from T2 to T1. This read before this write of B will also make an arrow from T2 to T1. No other arrow I can think of that we can draw here. So this is the precedence graph for this particular schedule. Now if a precedence graph of any schedule, if the precedence graph of any schedule contains a cycle, then that particular schedule is not conflict serializable. If there is a cycle in the precedence graph, then the schedule S is not conflict serializable, right? Let's take another example. Now see this T1 and T2. We have this read A. This read A will with this read A will not conflict. This read A with this write A will conflict. So we will draw an arrow from T1 to T2. We will draw an edge, right? Now this write A with this read A will also give me an edge from T1 to T2 that we have already drawn, right? Now this read B and read A, they will not conflict. This write B and this write A will not conflict. Now this write B and write B, they will conflict, but again we will be having an arrow from T1 to T2. In every case you can see we will be having an arrow from T1 to T2. There is no case to draw an edge from T2 to T1, right? So this will be the precedence graph. As you can see, there is no cycle. No cycle means that our schedule is conflict serializable, right? Now the second type of serializability is view serializable. Two schedules S and S dash are said to be view serializable, or before view serializable, view equivalent if following three conditions hold. The same set of transactions participate in S and S dash, and S and S dash includes same operation of those transactions. What it means is, if we are converting a schedule S into S dash, then we will say S and S dash are view equivalent only if the number of transactions and the set of transactions is same in both the schedules. If I am having T1, T2 and T3, suppose in S, then in S dash as well I should be having T1, T2 and T3, right? The second condition is, for any operation Ri means read operation by transaction Ti on data item X. In S, if the value of X read by operation has been written by operation Wj of Tj, the same condition must hold for this. What it simply means is, suppose in schedule S, transaction Ti is reading a value of data item X that is written by transaction Tj, right? Tj has written this some value of data item X, and then Ti is reading that value of data item X. Then in schedule S dash, the equivalent schedule, I am assuming we should have the same scenario. Ti should read the value of data item X that is written by the transaction Tj for X, right? The sequence should be same, written by Tj, then read by Ti. In S dash as well, it should be same, written by Tj and read by Ti. Now third condition is, if the operation Wk of Tk is the last operation to write item Y in S1, then it should be same in S dash. What it means is, it simply means is, every data item that is written by any transaction in schedule S, it should be written by the same transaction in another schedule S dash. Suppose Tk is some transaction who has performed the last write operation on data item Y. The scenario should be same in case of schedule S dash as well. The final write operation on Y should be performed by Tk only in the schedule S dash as well. Now we can conclude, this is what I have concluded, that all the conflict serializable schedules are subset of your view serializable schedule. It simply means that every conflict serializable schedule is view serializable, but every view serializable schedule is not conflict serializable. And the view serializable schedules which are not conflict serializable are the cases where we perform the blind writes. Blind writes means we are just writing the value without reading it. Blind write means write operation without read. You can see this. This is a sequence. T2 has not read the value of X. It is just overwriting it. T3 also has not read the value of X. It is just performing the write operation. So this is blind write. T2 and T3, they are performing blind write here, right? this schedule is view serializable, but it is not conflict serializable, because you can see this W1x and W2x, they cannot be swapped because they both are the write operations on the same data item, right? So they cannot be swapped. So this particular schedule SG I cannot convert into any serial schedule because we have conflicting operations. So it is not conflict serializable schedule, but it is a view serializable schedule because the initial read, the first read on X was performed by T1, the final write is performed by T3, right? It is view serializable. Now this, if we convert it into a serial schedule, if this schedule is convert, yes, we can convert it into a serial schedule, but it will not be conflict serializable because we have conflicting operations, but it is view serializable because we are able to transform this schedule into a serial schedule, right? This is a serial schedule, equivalent serial schedule. Now here we have some simple definition of view serializability. Two schedules S1 and S2 are view equivalent if following conditions are true. Initial read of data item must be by same transaction in both S1 and S2. If we are having two schedules, the first read that will be performed on any data item should be done by the same transaction in both the schedules. So in this case it is not view equivalent because here the first read is performed by T1 and here the first read is performed by T2, so they are not equivalent, right? The write read sequence for both data item must be by same transaction. It means the value written by transaction and that is read by another transaction, the sequence should be same. Here you can see T3 is reading a value that is written by T2, right? But here T3 is reading a value that is written by T1. So the write read sequence has changed. This is the simpler definition of your view equivalent, right? It is same as the earlier one that we have studied. It is just the simpler form. So, and the third is the final write of data item should be by same transaction. It means here again you can see the last write on data item A is performed by T1 here, and here the last write is performed by T2. So again these two schedules are not equivalent. If they would have been equivalent, then we would have said that they are view equivalent, right? But they are not here. Okay, let's take an example to understand again what is conflict serializability and view serializability. Here you can see we have these this schedule. Again, to check for the conflict serializability, we will start with conflict serializability because if a schedule is conflict serializable, it will automatically be view serializable. So to check for conflict serializable, we will start with the precedence graph. Now you can see, can I swap this W2B with R3C? Let's start with this. R2A will not conflict with this, will not conflict with this. Yes, it will conflict. A read before a write. So the arrow will go from T2 to T3. Again, W2A before W3A, the arrow will go from T2 to T3 that we have already drawn. T2 to T3, right? Now this R3C to W2B, they will not conflict, so we don't care. This W2B will not conflict with any of this, so we have drawn this T2 to T3. Now check with T2 and T1. R2A before W1A. R2A before W1A, it means we will going to draw an arrow from T2 to T1. R2A before this. And W2B, write with write on the same data item. W2 before W1. So we will draw an edge from T2 to T1. Now, do we have any other? Yes, we have this. You can see this. W3A, write and read on the same data item. It means T3 is performing write before T1 can perform read. So we will draw an arrow from T3 to T1. Now you can see there is no cycle. If there is no cycle, we can say that our schedule is conflict serializable. And if the schedule is conflict serializable, how you can convert it? It will look like this. If we convert it into a serial schedule, right? we can swap these operations, we can swap like this. So this S dash and this S, they are conflict serializable because precedence graph is not having any cycle, and if it is conflict serializable, it will automatically be view serializable. I hope you have understood this. So you can practice more examples, and if you face any problem, then you can contact me. Thank you, class.